elbow flexion PAILs for connective tissue architecture. So all we're going to do is we're going to get into as much elbow flexion as we can get into. We're going to get your other hand here and just get into that flexion stretch. Don't push so hard that obviously you're hurting your elbow. Just get into that active range, push into your passive range, and just hold here. You'll just be here for sort of 20 seconds, just till you feel comfortable. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a PAILs contraction. So PAILs is the progressive side, to the side getting longer, to the outside, isometric. So what you'll be doing is you'll be effectively trying to straighten your elbow, but your other hand's not going to let you. So you're just going to start literally driving this forearm into your other hand. Now for this, you're going to be wanting to accumulate 2 minutes worth of work, which means we're not doing this for an intensity, a high intensity, we're doing it for a high duration. Low intensity, long duration. So we're going to be doing this for approximately 2 minutes, which means you're only going to be doing it for about 30 to 40% effort, because otherwise you won't be able to hold that effort for that period of time. Like if I try and do this at say 70, 80%, I'm just going to fatigue. There's no way I can last 2 minutes. You're going to be wanting to last 2 minutes. Now, if you're doing this at a few different rotations, which you may be doing, slightly different, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be pushing there, you can go a little bit harder, maybe 50, 60%, because as you rotate, as you notice I'm rotating my elbow here, as you rotate, you'll start hitting different tissues, so you'll be able to do it for a slightly longer intensity. But we'll assume that to start with, you are doing it with this 3 different rotations. So you're going to get into this flexion, hold still, and then just use everything on the outside of your elbow just to start driving that, and slowly get up, just 10%, 20, 30, 40, get up to about probably 50, 60% and hold that. If you're doing this at 3 sort of rotations, we want to be doing this as much sort of supination, which is rotated this way to start with. Hold this for about 30, 40 seconds. And then rotate your elbow about halfway around. Hold that for about 40 seconds. And then rotate around as far as you can and hold that for about 40 seconds. And you should accumulate 2 minutes worth of work. So when you start this, it won't feel like a lot of effort. It won't be a lot of effort. But you should be feeling an intensity or a level of force that's being driven into this other hand. That's a force that you can accumulate 2 minutes worth of work in. But when you get to the end of the 2 minutes, you actually hit fatigue or failure at the end. And what failure means is this. The way I look at it is, as I start driving my arm into the other hand, I'm imagining I've got like an electronic scale on my hand here. Let's say I imagine I'm driving 5 kilos worth of force into my hand. I want that 5 kilos to stay the whole time. As I start fatiguing, I don't want it dropping off to 4, 3, 2. Failure means I can't keep that same 5 kilos up. So once I get to about that 2 minute mark, that's where I want to be at. I want to get to that 2 minutes, and then I start feeling the tissue fatigue. And that's what I want you to do. So once again, all you're doing, flexion, hold, push, and just hold that intensity for a period of 2 minutes. If you're doing it at 3 different rotations, do it here at about the 40-second mark, turn around, and then about another 40-second mark, turn around. Either way, it's still 2 minutes. You're just doing it at 3 different rotation points of your elbow. What we're doing here is building up your connective tissue architecture. Your connective tissue needs to be trained for a longer duration to failure or to high fatigue for us to get this adaptation that we want. It's not high intensity, it's longer duration, and it's doing it isometrically at its fully lengthened position. Enjoy. If you've got any questions, obviously, feel free. Make sure you fire away. Speak to you soon.